Hello everyone. If you like what I'm doing here, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting. It would really help the channel out quite a bit. Thank you very much. Almost all the shows that you hear on this channel were produced around 60 to 90 years ago. It was a different time and a different era. Stereotypical portrayals and comments were the norm back then. Many old-time radio shows contained some material that today some would find objectable in some fashion. This is history, and this was the way it was. We learn from our mistakes and we move forward every time the sun comes up. The shows contained here are not only for the historical content they may contain, but for entertainment. What some may find offensive, others will not. If you find you are easily triggered by stereotypical portrayals or comments, I suggest you immediately stop listening, unsubscribe, and find other avenues of entertainment. Unless the platforms that I have these shows uploaded to mandate they be removed, they will stay. Please enjoy the following show.
Keen eyes fixed on a flying target. A gleaming arrow set against a rawhide string. A strong bow bent almost to the breaking point. And then...
Straight arrow! Nabisco Shredded Wheat presents Straight Arrow, a new thrilling adventure story from the exciting days of the Old West. To friends and neighbors alike, Steve Adams appeared to be nothing more than the young owner of the Broken Bow cattle spread. But when danger threatened innocent people, and when evildoers plotted against justice, then Steve Adams' rancher disappeared. And in his place came a mysterious, stalwart Indian, wearing the dress and war paint of a Comanche, riding the great golden Palomino, galloping out of the darkness to take up the cause of law and order throughout the West, comes the legendary figure of Straight Arrow. Boys and girls, how would you like to own a beautiful golden Palomino colt? The son of the mighty horse Straight Arrow rides on our new radio program. You might be the very one to win, and we'll tell you more about it later in the program. First, a word to the boys. Are you high man on your baseball team? And you girls, are you always leading the race when you're roller skating with your gang? If you want to be in front all the time, you need plenty of energy. Energy spelled Nabisco, for Nabisco Shredded Wheat. Yep, a big bowl full of Nabisco Shredded Wheat for breakfast, plus plenty of fruit and milk, will not only start you off right, it will help give you a head start on the other kids. Because Nabisco Shredded Wheat is made from real whole wheat. And believe me, that means real energy in every spoonful. Tell Mother you want to keep ahead of the crowd. Ask her to get a box of Nabisco Shredded Wheat today. And now, Straight Arrow. The route of the Sawbuck stage line between Flint Rock and Calvaydos runs along the flat prairie, and then through a steep cut in the Sangre Cristos Mountains. The mountain road begins only a dozen miles from the ranch house of the Broken Bow cattle spread. It's a hot afternoon, and Steve Adams, owner of the Broken Bow, and his friend Packy are out hunting strays. As they come around a jutting shoulder of rock, Steve Adams calls a halt, his keen, dark Indian eyes under the brim of his Stetson sweeping over the buffalo grass and the foothills of the Sangre Cristos.
Oh, son. No sign of those strays around here, Packy. Reckon they must have drifted some other direction. Can't see hide nor hair of them.
You can't, eh? Now, Steve, you mean a scrunchy old placer miner like me's got better eyes than Straight Arrow?
Packy, I told you dozens of times, don't call me by that handle.
Why not? That's who you are right enough, Straight Arrow. The mysterious Comanche Indian that rides that big Palomino horse.
I'm not riding him now. As far as everybody is concerned, I'm just plain Steve Adams, cattleman.
Everybody except me, Steve. But don't fret, I only call you Straight Arrow when we're alone.
All right, Packy, never mind. You were saying something about my eyes.
Yep, so was. I spotted a cloud of dust that you didn't. See it yonder up there in the foothills?
I saw it a long while ago, Packy.
You did?
Yep. And it's not our strays. It's a sawbuck stage for Calvaydos. That dust is moving right above where the trail ought to be.
Oh, shucks. And I figured for once I'd outsmarted you. Yep, it's a stage right enough.
We can't see it, just the dust, but... Packy.
Huh? What's biting you, Steve?
It stopped.
Well, what if it has? Maybe it sprung an axle or broke a trace or... Gee, Hoshaphat, Steve! Shooting!
Yeah, Packy. I reckon what stopped that stagecoach is a holdup. Come on, prod up your pony. We got to get there pronto. Hit up, old son.
Led by Steve Adams, the men swung their mounts up the rocky trail that coiled like a snake between the rising cliffs of stone. Above the sound of hoofs, they could hear the rattle of gunfire as they urged their horses onward. Then the shooting died down. They burst out into a clearing on top of a rise and saw the stagecoach. One man lay unconscious, sprawled across the boot. Another man, the driver, was kneeling on the blanket seat, firing across the top of the coach.
Whoa, whoa there. Driver, which way'd they go?
Yonder, mister, down over the bow. But he's gone, no sense wasting time.
We'll have a look, see. Get up there. Whoa, whoa, whoa there. Whoa.
Hey, gents, wait up.
No sign of him, huh? That's what I figured.
You're the driver?
Yeah, my name's Murdoch. Been driving states for the Sawbuck for 3 years.
Anybody hurt? I noticed that other gent wasn't doing much stirring around.
Lacey? Oh, he's all right. Got clipped by a ricochet. He's coming around.
What about your passengers?
Not hauling any passengers this trip. All we was carrying was some Wells Fargo securities. That's what that ornery sidewinder was after. Blast his hide. Drew down on us before we could make a move. Then he ambles up calm as you please and gets the securities. Knew right where they was.
He knew where they were, huh?
Yep. And there was something mighty familiar about that hombre. I could swear I'd seen him before.
He was masked?
Sure. Stetson pulled down and wore a handkerchief. But even
Here,
so...
just a minute.
Huh?
What's that?
What?
Right at your feet.
Well, I'll be dogged. Steve, it's a knife. A Bowie knife.
Yeah, Packy. Lying right here on the trail. Hasn't been here long. It's clean and shiny. Wait a minute. There's a name on the handle.
Murdoch, what happened? Quack put away with his stuff?
He did, Lacey. But maybe he won't get far. This gent just found his Bowie knife. Mister, what's the name on that knife?
It's Randy Culver.
Randy Culver? Murdoch, that...
Yeah, Lacey. That sure ties in. I knew I'd seen him before. Ornery little polecat. So he'd rob his own outfit, would
Now,
he?
just a minute, Murdoch. Back trail there. I don't savvy. This, Randy Culver works for the Sawbuck stage?
He does, mister. The Calvaydos office.
And you think it was him?
Mister, we're plumb positive.
Yeah, it all figures out, stranger. Young Culver knew we was carrying them securities, and he can use them. His mother's sick, needs cash for a trip back east to get operated on.
Yeah, but I never calculated that little squirt would try to get it this way. Well, one thing sure, we'll pick him up easy.
You will? How?
I'll bet gold dust to a cactus plant. Culver headed straight back to Calvaydos, just as innocent as you please. Mister, give me that knife. Lacey and me are driving on to Calvaydos.
Packy, let's amble along with him. I'm kind of curious to see this Randy Culver gent.
Several hours later, just at twilight, the Sawbuck stage rolls into Calvaydos and pulls up in front of the company office. Steve Adams and Packy drop off their ponies at the hitching rail and follow the stagecoach men inside. A kerosene lamp hangs from the ceiling, casting a yellow glow on the small room. And behind a desk, a tall young man looks up as they enter.
Well, Murdoch, Lacey, howdy. Stage is late. You have any trouble?
Yeah, Culver. We had trouble. And I reckon you know all about it. Here. Is this yours?
Yeah, it's my knife. Where'd you find it?
Well, where do you think? Up in the Sangre Cristos, right where you dropped it after you robbed the stage.
Robbed the stage. Now look here, Murdoch.
Murdoch, maybe we ought to search his desk. It'd be just the kind of slick trick he'd pull, hiding them Wells Fargo securities right under our noses.
Good idea, Lacey. Culver, stand away from that desk.
Sure, but you're heading up the wrong trail.
Murdoch. Here they are, right in the bottom drawer.
Well, Culver.
Well, I don't know how they got there.
Lacey, go call the sheriff.
No, you can't. My mom's sick. You can't.
Call the sheriff, Lacey.
Don't move, Lacey. Don't nobody move.
Here, Culver, put down that gun.
You keep out of this, stranger. None of your affair. Put your hands up, all of you.
You're not leaving, Culver.
Keep your hands off your guns, Murdoch. I'm warning you.
Try and stop me. If it's gun smoke you want, then you... Steve, look out!
He's gone. Come on, Steve.
Wait! He smashed the lamp. The place is on fire. Never mind him. We'll catch up with him later. Put the fire out of the whole dang office. We'll burn to ashes.
It took a few minutes for the four men to subdue the flames started by the broken kerosene lamp. By the time they got outside, a crowd had gathered, and there was no sign of Randy Culver.
Randy! Where's my son, Randy?
Excuse me, ma'am. You're Mrs. Culver, Randy's mother?
Yes. Where is he? What's happened?
Ma'am, I'm afraid your son is in a heap of trouble.
Trouble? Randy? Oh, no.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Culver. Me and Lacey here can attest to that. Your son tried to rob the stagecoach.
Not Randy, no. Where is he?
He got on a horse and skedaddled while we was putting out the fire. Mrs. Culver, your son's an outlaw, that's what.
Oh, please. Randy'd never do a thing like that. He'd never...
Murdoch, that's enough. Ma'am, you're not well. Packy, lend a hand. We got to get Mrs. Culver back to her home.
Oh, I sure think, Steve. Now, ma'am, don't you fret now. Everything will be all right.
The widowed woman lived in a small, bare shack at the end of the narrow main street of Calvaydos. Steve and Packy led her there, made her comfortable, and a few minutes later went back to the hitching rail where they had left their ponies.
Sure is too doggone bad. A nice woman like that and her son has to be crooked. Reckon he'll get away, Steve?
I don't know, Packy. They sent a posse after him, but he had a good start. It's mighty dark. But we can find him, Packy.
We? Now, Steve, this ain't any of our concern.
I think it is. And the sooner we get to Sundown Valley, the better.
Sundown Valley? Steve, do you mean...
Yes, Packy. Sundown Valley in the hidden cave. It's time for me to hit the trail as Straight Arrow.
A short distance from the Broken Bow cattle spread lay Sundown Valley, and in it, a weather-beaten mine shack which stood at the entrance to an apparently deserted mine shaft. But the mine shaft is not deserted. Within, through a secret entrance known only to Steve Adams and Packy, lies a vast subterranean cave. The walls of the cave glitter with crystals of gold. From some unknown source comes light that spreads a shimmering gleam everywhere. And as the two men enter, a great golden palomino tosses its head and whinnies eagerly.
Steady, big horse.
A Comanche bow and Comanche arrows hang on the wall. There's Comanche war paint and Comanche garb. Quickly, Steve Adams changes, and in a moment...
Steady, great stallion, steady. Stand ready. This is your master who speaks. This is Straight Arrow.
A clatter of hoofs in the vast vaulted cave. An Indian war whoop that rings from the glittering rock. Out into the night gallops the great golden palomino, and riding bareback, clad in Indian garb from head to toe, Straight Arrow on the trail of justice.
Faster, great speed, to Calvaydos. Faster!
More about Straight Arrow in a minute. And remember, in just a few minutes, we're going to tell you more about how you can win a beautiful Palomino colt, son of the famous stallion ridden by Straight Arrow. Right now, let's try our hand at a little arithmetic. The way I figure it, there are 14 hours between your evening meal and next morning's breakfast, right? And that means you need to eat more for breakfast. That's why Nabisco shredded wheat is tops to start off the day. Pure whole wheat with nothing added, Nabisco shredded wheat gives you plenty of stick-to-the-ribs energy. Set you up fine for that baseball game at recess. And say, tell Mom that she won't have any trouble getting you or the rest of the family down to breakfast once she calls out that Nabisco shredded wheat and sliced bananas are on the table. Yep, those crunchy Nabisco shredded wheat biscuits, swell with milk and sugar, are extra fine, topped with a layer of fruit. A one-dish breakfast, I'd call it. And one way of having everybody saying good morning and meaning it. When you say shredded wheat, be sure it's Nabisco shredded wheat, the real, the original shredded wheat. Look for the picture of Niagara Falls on the package. Look for Nabisco shredded wheat at your grocer's tomorrow. Once again, Steve Adams' rancher has disappeared, and in his place has come the legendary figure of the Comanche Indian known as Straight Arrow. Now, in war paint and Indian garb, a Comanche bow slung over one shoulder, and over the other a quiver of arrows, Straight Arrow travels through the night with his friend Packy beside him, until, in the moonlight, they see in the distance the sleeping town of Calvaydos.
Oh, great Steve. My friend, from here we must go as quietly as the prairie wolf. The house of Randy Culver is on the far side of the town.
But what are we going there for? We was there early this evening.
As Steve Adams, Packy. Now it shall be Straight Arrow who will speak to Randy Culver.
But he ain't there.
He will be there. Come, my friend. Up, great Steve.
Circling the town, Straight Arrow and Packy rein up in the draw not far from the Culver home. Then, leaving Packy with the horses, the Indian slips silently into the shadows. A few moments later, he moves quietly toward the door of the house. Inside, Mrs. Culver is talking to her son, the fugitive, Randy Culver.
Yes, Mom?
I know you're near frantic for cash to send me east so that I can be operated on. But, Randy, son, did you do it?
No, Ma, I swear I didn't. I don't savvy how my knife got up there on the trail. I lost it 2 days ago. And as for how those securities got in my desk, well, I don't savvy that either. But I didn't do it. What in thunder? An arrow. A Comanche arrow.
Do not be alarmed, my friend. That arrow is mine.
Injun, who are you? What do you want?
I opened your door quietly as you spoke. I am your friend. Men call me Straight Arrow.
Straight Arrow? Injun, I've heard of you. You help out those in trouble. I beg of you, help my son. He didn't do this. He's innocent.
Straight Arrow knows. When there is a crooked trail, Straight Arrow knows. But, Culver, you cannot stay here. Already 3 men approach. I saw them from the darkness.
3 men? Mom, it must be the sheriff.
Listen well. You will go up into the Sangre Cristo Mountains.
Yes, into the mountains.
You will stay there until I come for you.
But how will you find him?
I shall find him. But he must trust me. Already there is a reward posted for his capture. The sooner he... So, the call of the wolf, that is our signal. The men who would capture you are very near. Go, Culver.
But what about you, Straight Arrow?
They shall not capture me. Go. Go at once.
Sheriff, here's the Culver shack. If you ask me, this here's a waste of time. Right, Lacey?
Yeah, Murdoch. Culver won't be there.
Well, maybe not, gents. But I want to talk to Mrs. Culver anyhow. Come on. She might have some idea where her son is.
If she does, she won't tell us.
Well, even so. After all, Murdoch, didn't you tell me you got another Wells Fargo shipment in a couple of days?
Yeah, day after tomorrow. 100,000. What of it?
Plenty. If Culver's still loose, he might try for it.
Nary a chance. Me and Lacey will be ready for him this time. Here we are, Sheriff. Here's the Culver place now.
Get to one side.
What in blazes? An Injun!
One side.
That Injun. He jumped right up out of the brush. Where'd he go?
I don't know. He hightailed past us faster than a spooked antelope.
Hey, there he goes.
Palomino, faster.
Jumping cactus. Sheriff, did you hear that? He's got a Palomino horse. That means...
Yeah, there's only one hombre with a cayuse like that. Gents, that Injun was Straight Arrow. But I don't savvy. What's he got to do with Culver?
next day, just at twilight, Straight Arrow located Randy Culver in the Sangre Cristos Mountains. They made camp and stayed there overnight. And in Calvaydos on the following morning, a short while after Murdoch and Lacey drove out of town in the stagecoach, Packy sauntered into the office of Sheriff Ferguson.
Morning, Sheriff. You call me Packy?
Yeah, howdy. What can I do for you?
You still got a reward out for the capture of Randy Culver?
Yeah, mister. 500 cash. What about it?
Oh, nothing. Excepting yesterday when I was on my way back to Broken Bow Cattle Spread. That's Steve Adams' ranch.
Never mind Steve Adams. What about Culver?
Sheriff, he's up in the Sangre Cristos.
What? Mister, are you sure?
Sartin sure. I cut his trail yesterday. Caught a glimpse of him. And that ain't all, Sheriff. There was an Injun with him. Looked like a Comanche from the war paint, riding a giant Palomino.
Straight Arrow.
Huh?
Straight Arrow, that's who that is. The two of them, huh? Most likely in cahoots, and... By thunder, the stagecoach. It just left. It's carrying 100,000 in Wells Fargo securities. And with those two up there in the Sangre Cristos... Kincaid, Shorty, yes, sir. Get your guns and saddle up.
Trouble?
Plenty trouble. Culver and Straight Arrow, both of them up in the mountains. And the stagecoach heading that way now. We got to get up there pronto.
A few hours later, as the sun climbed over the Sangre Cristos, Murdoch and Lacey drove the stagecoach up the first slope of the mountain trail. In the distance, still well behind them, came the sheriff's posse and Packy. And in the mountains themselves, on a high crag from which they could see the stagecoach as well as the distant posse, two men sat their horses. One of them was Randy Culver. The other, Straight Arrow.
Straight Arrow, there's the stagecoach. And yonder comes a posse. But I don't savvy what you're up to.
In a moment, Culver, all shall be clear. That stagecoach carries 100,000 in Wells Fargo paper. Much more than the 10,000 you were accused of trying to steal.
Hey, the stage. It stopped.
Yes, my friend. And now it is time for us to go. Quickly down the mountain. We must show ourselves to the posse.
The posse? You mean let them see us?
Yes, they must see us. Because then they shall come after us. We must make certain they come after us. Up, great stallion. Down the mountain.
Yes, that's it. Hey!
Well, mister, here's the Sangre Cristos, and nary a sign of Culver or that Injun. Only thing we've seen is the dust from that stagecoach. You certain of your facts?
Dead certain, Sheriff. Culver and Straight Arrow are up ahead there somewhere.
I hope you're right. I tell you, if we don't locate them soon... What in thunder?
Hey, Sheriff, up ahead, look. It's the Injun, and Culver's with them.
It's them, both of them. After them. Spur up your ponies. No shooting. They're still out of range. Hold your fire and ride. Get up there. Hurry.
Once certain that the posse was on their trail, Straight Arrow turned his stallion up the mountain. Together, he and Randy Culver followed each curve of the trail until ahead of them they saw the stagecoach standing. Then they stopped.
Oh, great steed.
Straight Arrow, what do we stop for? The posse's after us.
We wait here, Culver.
But we can't wait. They're coming, I tell you.
Stand your ground, Culver. Trust me and let them come.
On galloped the posse up the curving trail, their guns ready, watching for Randy Culver and Straight Arrow. Suddenly they burst into view, and as they did, Straight Arrow threw up his hand in the sign of peace.
Halt! Let there be no shooting! Halt!
Well, so you give up without a fight, do you? Don't try anything, Straight Arrow. No, you neither, Culver.
We do not fight honest men, Sheriff.
Honest men, is it? After Culver here tried to rob the stage?
Culver did not rob the stage. Look ahead, there in the distance. There is your stagecoach. And if you look closely, you will see the men who are responsible.
What in blazes you talking about, Straight Arrow? We can see the stage all right with Murdoch and Lacey beside it, but even so, what in tarnation?
Yes, Sheriff. You see what they're doing. They are opening the Wells Fargo strongbox.
Well, doggone if they ain't.
They are the criminals, Sheriff. Randy Culver's knife was stolen from him, planted by them beside the trail. The securities that were found in Culver's desk were also planted.
Gravy, I savvy now. Murdoch and Lacey did so that they could get a bigger haul this time and put the blame on young Culver.
Yes, Sheriff. You see them? They're caching the valuables beneath a rock.
I see 'em, the ornery skunks. All right, gents.
One moment, Sheriff. I have a better plan. Murdoch and Lacey have not seen us. Bring your posse back to Calvaydos. Let us go to your office and wait.
Straight Arrow, here comes Murdoch and Lacey now. Heading right here for my office. Quick, you and Randy Culver get out of sight.
We shall, Sheriff. Come, Randy, behind this door.
Now, Packy, the rest of you gents, just set easy like nothing was going on at all.
You bet. That's what we'll do.
Sheriff Ferguson, stagecoach has been robbed.
Well, howdy, Murdoch. What are you and Lacey doing back here in Calvaydos? You left only this morning.
Didn't you hear me, Sheriff? We've been held up again.
Yeah, up in the St. Christus. They got the 100,000 in Wells Fargo paper.
Well, I'll be doggone. You don't say. Who did it, Murdoch?
Who do you think? Randy Culver, of course. Randy Culver and that straight arrow Injun. Well, don't just sit there. Get your horses. Get a posse. We gotta try
One moment, Murdoch.
What in... Murdoch. It's Straight Arrow. And Culver.
So Culver and I robbed your stagecoach? That is very strange, since both of us have been with the sheriff since noon. Ever since we saw you and Lacey rob the stage yourselves.
You saw... You mean...
We saw you ourselves, and so did the sheriff and his posse.
Lacey, we've been tricked.
Hey, watch out! Watch out!
Drop them. Drop your guns.
Let go of my wrist. You ornery redskin. All right. All right. Here's my gun.
Yours too, Lacey.
Thanks, Straight Arrow. Those polecats were quick on the draw, but you sure got 'em first. All right, gents. Take these two along and put 'em behind bars.
All right.
Straight Arrow, I want to ask your pardon. And there's 500 cash reward coming to you for this.
No, Sheriff. I have no need for it. Give it to Randy Culver.
To me, Straight Arrow?
Yes, Randy. Use it for your mother to make her well. And now, adios, my friends.
Mr. Straight Arrow.
Yes, Sheriff.
We'll see you again, won't we?
Perhaps, my friend. Perhaps you will. But only when danger threatens. When there is injustice. Then you may look for Straight Arrow.
Wasn't that an exciting story? And wasn't that a terrific stallion Straight Arrow rode? How would you like to have a beautiful Palomino colt all your own? Well, next week on this program, we're going to tell you more about this wonderful horse. Some boy or girl listening right now may become the proud owner of the most beautiful golden Palomino colt you've ever seen. This colt is valued at $1,000, and there will be other valuable prizes, too. So listen in to Straight Arrow next week and hear more about this wonderful contest. In the meantime, remember, when you have a morning of good, hard work or play before you, pile an extra crunchy Nabisco shredded wheat biscuit into your breakfast bowl. There's nothing like Nabisco shredded wheat, the original Niagara Falls product. It's pure whole wheat, made into toasty golden biscuits as only Nabisco can make them. Look for the picture of Niagara Falls on the package and make sure you get Nabisco. Nabisco. Nabisco shredded wheat.
Hey, Steve, we're heading for the Cimarron. What's up?
Rustlers, Packy. We're out after a gang of thieving cattle rustlers. And before we're through, they'll come face to face with Straight Arrow.
Next week, another exciting adventure of the Old West, brought to you by the makers of Nabisco Shredded Wheat. Listen, same time, same station. Ride the trail with Straight Arrow. This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System. Nabisco, Nabisco is the name to know. For a breakfast you can't beat. Eat Nabisco Shredded Wheat. Keen eyes fixed on a flying target. A gleaming arrow set against a rawhide string. A strong bow bent almost to the breaking point. And then... Straight Arrow. Nabisco Shredded Wheat presents Straight Arrow, a new, thrilling adventure story from the exciting days of the Old West. To friends and neighbors alike, Steve Adams appeared to be nothing more than the young owner of the Broken Bow cattle spread. But when danger threatened innocent people, and when evildoers plotted against justice, then Steve Adams' rancher disappeared. And in his place came a mysterious, stalwart Indian, wearing the dress and war paint of a Comanche, riding the great golden Palomino Fury, galloping out of the darkness to take up the cause of law and order throughout the West, comes the legendary figure of Straight Arrow. The Sonora diggings in the Red Mountains north of the Broken Bow was a raw mining camp built of canvas tents and tar paper shacks. Word of gold nuggets discovered in a mountain stream had brought a rush of prospectors, but no further discoveries were made, and Sonora dwindled down to about 50 of the most stubborn who still kept searching. But sitting under the open flap of a tent close to the wagon trail, two men discussed it secretly.
You certain of that, Spike? You're positive it's gold?
Plumb certain, Rackley. That ledge up behind the gravel slope. I stumbled over it this morning real early.
Nobody else knows about it yet?
No. But it's on land that's already been claimed. That's why I come to you, Rackley.
Why?
Well, you just arrived in Sonora. Nobody knows you. You're a smart hombre who never did an honest day's work in your life.
What's that?
Oh, now, don't get your dander up. You know what I mean.
You mean the only way to grab off that gold is by hook or crook, huh?
Yeah.
It won't be easy to make these here prospectors just up and leave their claims behind.
All that gold, Rackley, it's worth it, I tell you. Whatever you scheme you cook up, it's got to be real slick. These prospectors ain't fools. Any day one of them's bound... Hey, what are you staring at?
The gent riding in that wagon, Spike. I've seen him before.
Well, I ain't. He's a stranger to Sonora.
I knew him back east. He used to be a doctor.
The Sawbones?
Yeah. Lost a patient and blamed himself. And now he's nothing but a tumbleweed.
Oh, there.
Sure, I'll get off here. Suit yourself, stranger. You sure picked a dead enough spot. Sonora's no place for a wide-awake gent.
Still toting that little black bag of his. That's him, all right. Doc Hawthorne.
What's all this got to do with us getting that gold?
Plenty, Spike. He showed up at just the right time. Tonight, after dark, you and me are calling on Doc Hawthorne. Hey, don't move. Just sit tight, Hawthorne. This is a bowie knife right in your ribs.
Who are you? I have nothing worth stealing.
Me and Spike ain't here for that.
Then what is it? There's something about your voice.
Yeah. We met before, Doctor.
Doctor? I'm not a doctor.
No? Kick up that fire, Spike.
Yeah.
Hey,
Now you can make me out, Hawthorne.
Rackley.
Yep.
That patient I lost back east. You were the...
Yeah, I was your orderly. Too bad you lost him, Doc. Awful careless of you.
Don't mention it. I've been trying to forget it.
Hawthorne, suppose I spread it around Sonora that you're Sawbones.
No, I've given up the practice of medicine. You mustn't speak of it. I've been disgraced enough.
Easy does it, Hawthorne. I'll make a deal with you.
A deal?
Yeah, Doc. Me and Spike got a little scheme cooked up.
I won't do anything dishonest.
You won't have to do nothing at all. Just play along, savvy?
Keep my identity secret, Rackley. That's all I ask. Keep it secret.
Sure, just like you say. You can hold up right here in your tent. I'm going to borrow that black bag of yours, Doc. For the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be the doctor.
What's that, Doc? I don't savvy. I figured all I had was a cough.
I don't want to alarm you, but it might be worse. You stay in bed. It might be a heap sight worse.
Yeah, I do feel a mite under the weather. If you're a doctor...
I am, sister. You ain't the only one who's sick in these here diggings. Looks like to me there's some sort of epidemic.
It's spreading through the whole camp. I feel mighty poorly.
Epidemic. Pack up and vamoose.
My husband came here searching for gold. Now he's sick.
If you ask me, it's an epidemic. Pack up and vamoose. Everybody's getting scared. That doc won't say nothing, but it's spreading and getting worse. Pack up and vamoose.
And finally, while Steve Adams, Packy, and Mesquite were out riding in the direction of Sonora...
Land sake. What is that stress going on? Look at that, Steve. A whole passel of folks riding mules and horses. Ain't they coming from Sonora?
Looks that way, Mesquite.
By Cactus, that's the first time ever I seen folks stampeding away from a gold town.
Well, there must be a reason for it. They look frightened, Steve.
Well, they're coming closer. Maybe we can find out what it's about. Hey! Hey there! What's wrong? What's wrong? Why have you left Sonora?
Land devotion, Steve. I can't make out what they're saying.
I did. They said plague.
Plague?
The plague? Steve.
No wonder they're all pulling out of Sonora. It's been hit by the plague.
Say, gang, you want to know a foolproof way to make you wake up with a smile and jump out of bed in a hurry? Well, tonight or any night, just remind Mother you're going to want a straight arrow breakfast of Nabisco shredded wheat, sugar, and milk. Why, those crisp, golden shredded wheat biscuits look so good and taste so wonderful, you'll be raring to get to that breakfast table the minute you wake up. Now, of course, what makes Nabisco shredded wheat so extra swell is that good, golden western wheat it's made of. Every spoonful's a spoonful of grand whole wheat flavor. And when you take an extra helping of those Nabisco shredded wheat biscuits, you're helping yourself to extra pep and go. Yes, sir, you're getting a breakfast standby that stands by you all morning. So for a real straight arrow breakfast that tastes fine and packs a load of energy, tell Mother to get the Niagara Falls package of the original shredded wheat. That's Nabisco shredded wheat. Rackley's scheme to take over the Sonora claims in order to grab off all the gold is working out perfectly. By spreading word that the mining camp has been hit by a deadly plague, he and Spike have started a frantic stampede out of town.
Doc Rackley. That's rich, ain't it, Spike?
Yeah. You and that little black bag of Hawthorne sure put folks in a panic.
Does Hawthorne savvy what we've been up to?
I don't know, Rackley. He ain't left the tent yonder. Why, do you think he'd cross us up?
I don't know.
He might have heard folks talking.
He might.
Rackley, everybody's pulled out. There's only the three of us left in Sonora.
What are you getting at?
Do we want to split the gold with anybody else?
You mean Hawthorne?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. We better get rid of him, Rackley.
Spike, I reckon you're right. And there's no time like right now. Keep your gun handy. As soon as he pokes his head out of the tent, pull trigger.
Yeah.
Hey, Hawthorne!
Maybe he's asleep.
Must be. Then we can bury him right in his blankets. Come on, Spike. Wake up, Hawthorne.
Rackley, he's gone. Well, see for yourself. Empty. He's cleared out.
Why that ornery?
Look there. On the back of the tent.
Yeah. Got a slit in the canvas and slipped out.
There's the marks of his boots. Tracks are fresh, Rackley. Couldn't happen more than just a few... Hey, what the...
Hold your fire, Spike.
But that's him.
Hey, it's too dark to just be wasting bullets. We'll catch up with him and then finish him off. Come on, pronto.
Meanwhile, all that afternoon, Mesquite Molly had been trying to make up her mind.
Plague in Sonora. All them folks leaving. But there must be other folks still there. Sick folks that need nursing.
While Steve and Packy were busy out on the range, she debated what to do. Until finally...
Danger or no danger, I can't sit here doing nothing while folks need attention. I'll leave a note for Steve and Packy. They'll understand.
There's Hawthorne now, Rackley. Heading up that slope.
Here, hold your fire. He can't get away from us now. That pony he's riding is plumb tuckered out.
Reckon we can catch him?
Look, his pony's quitting now. He's found it. It's no use, Hawthorne.
He's scrambling on foot.
Use your lasso.
Yeah, let me get a loop now.
Get away from me.
No. Whoa.
Steady, boy.
A nice toss, Spike. You caught him right around the neck. Well, steady, you lop-eared cayuse. Well, Hawthorne, making a break for it, was you?
I don't know what you mean.
Found out what we was up to, eh?
Yes, I did.
What'd you have in mind? You figured to ride after that mob and tell them to come back?
If I hadn't been so wrapped up in myself, I'd have realized sooner.
Realized what?
You know very well what. Somehow you located a valuable gold vein. But the claim owner's gone.
Yeah, they're gone right enough. And so will you be in just 1 second.
You're going to kill me.
You're a smart hombre, Doc.
Perhaps. But I really don't care.
You don't, huh?
I have nothing left to live for. All my life I worked to be a doctor. And now...
Sure. We'll write something like that on your gravestone. Say your prayers, Hawthorne. You're
Hey, Rackley.
Don't bother me, Spike. Can't you see
Listen,
it?
somebody's traveling fast, heading this way.
Help!
Bless your hide on.
Rackley, that rider's coming straight for us. What are we going to do?
Just follow my lead. I'll handle this. Howdy there.
Now, what is that? Whoa up there. Whoa.
Well, that'll be a female.
Yeah, I didn't expect to run across anybody this side of Sonora. Well, who's that?
How's that, ma'am?
At your feet, that man. He's not...
Dead? Oh, no, ma'am. What was you said about Sonora?
That's where I'm bound for.
No, ma'am. Haven't you heard of...
About the plague? Yes, I have. But I understand there's a doctor there. There are people who might need nursing, so I thought...
Oh, that's right. Brave of you, ma'am. And, about this gent here. He's got it.
The plague?
Yeah. Poor fellow went out of his head. Spike and I had to come after him and knock him out.
You did?
Of course, ma'am. The plague. Can't let him get loose. He'll carry it with him wherever he goes.
Yes, that's so. Poor feller. But who are you? You must be the doctor.
Yes, indeed. That's just who I am. Dr. Rackley, ma'am. Now, you better head back where you came from.
No.
Ma'am, it's dangerous. The plague
I know all about that, Doctor, but I'm willing to face it.
I see.
Besides, I'm not the only one. I left word for Steve Adams and Packy.
What's that? Oh, who are they?
From the Broken Bow Ranch. I told them I was heading for Sonora to fight this here plague. And if I know them two, they'll do the very same thing as soon as they read my note.
Do you think they've read it by now?
Well, they must have. I left before dark.
Well, that's too bad, ma'am.
Hey, what are you doing? Well, you're pointing at
Spike, use that rope. Tie her up.
What are you...
Button your lip, sister. This rope goes on you and it stays.
What does this mean? You're not a doctor. And that man on the ground...
He doesn't have the plague. You're right, ma'am. You wanted to go to Sonora, did you? Well, that's just where you're going, Savvy. You and Hawthorne here.
You won't get away with it. Stephen, Patsy...
Whoever they are, let them come. We'll be ready for them. We'll be ready for them plenty.
Mesquite and the unconscious Hawthorne were quickly hurried back to Sonora and placed in one of the many mining tunnels that were worked into the face of the cliff. And an hour later, as Steve and Packy approached along the wagon trail...
There's your town right up ahead, Steve.
Yeah, Packy.
I Cactus, if Mesquite Molly can stand it, I reckon you and me...
Wait up, Packy. A man on the trail right ahead of us. Whoa, steady. Mister, who are you, and what's the idea of pulling trigger?
I'm Dr. Rackley. I pulled trigger for your own protection, gentlemen. This town is plague-ridden. Nobody can enter.
You mean you're keeping folks out?
For your own good.
You say your name is Rackley?
Yes, Dr. Rackley. Why?
Oh, no reason. Come on, Packy, let's go.
Yeah, but Steve, what about Mesquite? Hey, say, Doc, what happened to Mesquite Molly?
Who?
Packy's talking about our housekeeper. We found a note saying she was coming here. Have you seen her?
No.
But dagnabbit, she must...
I'm sorry. No one by that name has come to Sonora. There's a wagon trail behind you, gentlemen. Turn your horses and start out. And keep right on going.
Let's go, Packy. Adios, mister.
Steve, I don't savvy. If Mesquite didn't go to that there mining camp, then where in the blazes did she go?
Packy, that man who stopped us is no more a doctor than I am.
He ain't. Ho there, Pink,
steady.
ho. Steve, you mean he's a crook or something?
Maybe.
And you mean Mesquite is in Sonora?
We were following her trail.
I Cactus, the polecat. Come on, Steve.
Easy, partner, easy.
Hey, but we got to go back.
And what? Run into an ambush? Packy, that hombre wasn't alone. There was another man up on the ridge with a rifle. I saw the barrel gleaming in the moonlight.
But what have they done with Mesquite Molly?
That's why we left.
Huh?
We couldn't locate her this way, Packy. That man knows us. He'll be watching for us.
Tino, but still... Steve, you mean straight air?
Yeah. There are many things an Indian can do that a white man can't. If those hombres are up to something, they'll be on the alert for white men, not an Indian. Come along, Packy. The Sundown Valley and the hidden cave. But while Steve Adams gallops for Sundown Valley to take up his role as straight arrow beside the wagon trail outside Sonora...
We gotta do it, Spike. The sooner the better.
If those two gents rode away, Rackley, they don't suspect nothing.
They will when that mesquite female doesn't appear back at that Broken Bow Ranch. No, Spike, we can't take chances. Hawthorne and that mesquite female are the only ones that might talk. We gotta take care of them. Make certain they never talk.
Say, that straight arrow is really on the ball, isn't he? Just as alert and filled with pep and go as all the boys and girls who enjoy a straight arrow breakfast of Nabisco shredded wheat each morning. Now, if you haven't already, why don't you try delicious Nabisco shredded wheat, sugar, and milk for your breakfast tomorrow? Add some bananas or canned berries if you like. Now, there's the breakfast standby that stands by you. Because Nabisco shredded wheat is pure, sun-ripened Western wheat, flavor-filled with all nature's goodness and chock full of vitamins and minerals. Ask Mother to get you Nabisco shredded wheat tomorrow. You'll want it for breakfast each and every day of the year after that. Make sure you get the big Niagara Falls package. That tells you it's the original shredded wheat. Nabisco shredded wheat, the breakfast standby that stands by you. A short distance from the Broken Bow Ranch house lay Sundown Valley, and in it, through a secret entrance known only to Steve Adams and Packy, a vast subterranean cave. The walls of the cave glitter with crystals of gold. From an unknown source comes light that spreads a shimmering gleam everywhere, and standing in the glowing light is a great golden palomino. A Comanche bow and Comanche arrows hang on the wall. There is Comanche war paint, Comanche garb. In a moment, Steve Adams' rancher is gone, and in his place...
Yes, sir. It is I, Straight Arrow.
A clatter of hoofs in the vast vaulted cave. An Indian war whoop that rings from the glittering rock. Out into the open gallops the great golden Palomino Fury, and riding bareback, clad in Indian garb from head to toe, Straight Arrow on the trail of justice.
Yes, Packy. Fury and I will go ahead. You come after me as fast as you can.
Pino, get up, man!
Up, Palomino! Kaniwa! Fury!
Oh, steady, Fury, steady. This is close enough, Palomino. There is Sonora below us, clear in the moonlight. What is that? Closer, Fury. Oh, steady. So, two men near the bottom of the cliff. One of them is Rackley. Cannot see what they are doing, but Yes, a tunnel in the cliff. Steady. Wait here, Stallion. Make no sound. I must hurry.
That does it. Spike.
Coming, boss.
Well, Spike, you got the fuse all planted, leading right to this here tunnel?
Yeah, all set, Rackley. Yeah, I see you got the gunpowder tamped into the rock already.
Yeah, and the whole business right in front of a couple of wide-eyed spectators.
Rackley, listen to me.
No use begging for your life, Doc.
Not my life. I don't give a hang. Mine's wasted anyway, but you've no call to murder this woman.
Murder, huh?
Let her go. Set her free, Rackley. Kill me if you have to, but...
Hawthorne, save your breath.
They'll let you go, Mesquite.
That pair of buzzards? Not a chance.
Man, you got a sharp edge to that tongue of yours.
All you two care about is gold.
No, that's a real smart figuring. Matter of fact, when this blast goes off, it'll serve two purposes. It'll be your finish, and it'll also expose that vein of gold ore me and Spike found.
That gold doesn't belong to you.
Sure it does, Doc. Everybody else is gone.
Because you tricked them.
All finished, Rackley.
The fuse tied in?
Yeah. All we do is go back to the other end and set a match to it and wait
for the explosion.
Yeah. Come on, Rackley. Let's get it over with.
Yes, Spike. Adios to both of you. I'm taking this pine torch with me. Hope you don't mind the dark. Oh, say, one more thing before you die. Hawthorne, you know that patient of yours back east?
What about him?
It wasn't your fault he passed on. It was my fault.
What? What are you saying?
I was your orderly, wasn't I? I gave him the wrong medicine, Doc. It was my mistake, not yours. And just
Rackley.
thought I'd let you know.
Rackley! His mistake. His. And all the time I blamed myself.
Now don't take on, mister.
I gave up the practice of medicine. I gave up everything.
Mister, this ain't no time for regrets about the past. Here in the dark, you and me are just about to meet our maker.
Huh?
The gunpowder. They're going out set off.
Oh, yes, for a moment Yes, Mesquite. Now that I have everything to live for, now I'm going to die.
Same here. And I don't relish it one bit. Doc, it's no use. They're tough as rawhide. All we can do is sit here and say our prayers until... What's that?
I heard nothing.
I do.
The spud of the fuse.
I don't know. It's all fire dark. Oh, if we could only see...
Mesquite Molly.
Lenses, who?
It is I, Mesquite. Straight Arrow.
Straight Arrow. Praise be. The Red Man, you're too late. They let out to set off the blast. They must have lit the fuse already. They'll get all of us now. Hawthorne and me and you too. We're all done for.
That finishes them off, Spike.
Yeah, Rackley. I thought it would never let go.
It let go, all right. Hey, what's biting you?
Nothing.
Ain't you never finished anybody off before this?
It ain't that. Only...
Only what?
Rackley, I could have swore I saw somebody else go into that tunnel.
Huh?
Just before the explosion.
But you didn't see him come out, did you?
No, he didn't come out.
All right, then, who cares? 2 dead or 3? What's the difference? Come on, Spike. Let's turn in. Tomorrow we start digging out that gold. That's enough for now. I'm plumb tuckered out.
Same here. Let's put this lump of ore into the wheelbarrow.
Let it lay, mister.
Hey, what the...
No, you don't. Oh! Get up, paint horse. You reach for your guns again, and I'll blast you to bits.
Mister, who in blazes are you? And what call do you have to come busting in here?
I got plenty. On account of that there gold don't belong to you. It belongs to the folks you flim-flammed. All the Sonora prospectors.
You're loco. What prospectors? They're all gone. Ain't nobody here but me and Spike.
Fino, only I'll tell you something, mister. They're all coming back.
Coming back? Here to Sonora?
Yep. On account of somebody's going to tell them that there weren't any sickness here to begin with. Not any real sickness.
Look here, mister. Where'd you learn all about this? You show up out of the blue. You ain't a lawman. But all of a sudden, you start talking about...
Now, Spike, hey, what...
No, you don't. Get out of that saddle. No, don't move, mister.
You outsmarted me.
Yeah, you couldn't watch both of us, huh? I don't know how you know and found out so much, Savvy. But me and Spike got rid of a couple of witnesses already. We blasted them to bits with gunpowder. Now I'm going to... my hand!
Billy, a gold arrow.
Do not move. That arrow came from my bow. There are many more in my quiver.
A red man.
Packy, you are all right?
Go straight there. Not hurt at all.
My hand. Blast you, red man. You got no right to...
Rackley behind him. I'm seeing things.
Yeah. Me too. It can't be.
Hello, Rackley.
Hawthorne. Doc Hawthorne. Not female. But it can't be. That's right.
That's right enough. And if it wasn't for Straight Arrow, we'd be dead and gone. He came into the tunnel just in time.
The fuse was already lighted. Straight Arrow broke it in two. He led us to safety, then afterwards lit the fuse again.
Lit it again? Rackley, I told you it took too long. I told you.
Shut up, Spike. Shut up. We're lit.
Yes, Rackley, you are. Packy, you will ride and bring back the prospectors?
I sure will, Straight Arrow.
Packy, I'm going with you.
Now, Hawthorne, you don't have to bother.
It's no bother at all. As a matter of fact, they may refuse to return unless they're certain there is no plague here in Sonora.
Yes, Hawthorne. And no one can convince them better than you. After all, are you not a doctor?
Straight Arrow, I am. I am indeed. For the first time in many years, I can call myself Dr. Hawthorne.
Now, boys and girls, here's an old friend of yours, the one and only Packy. And I think he has a little pep talk for you. Right, Packy?
I reckon that's a good way to put it, partner. 'Cause I'm aiming to mention the pep you fellers and girls can have by packing away a real straight arrow breakfast of Nabisco shredded wheat. Yes, sir. That'll give you the old ginger and go every time.
Now you're talking, Packy. A straight arrow breakfast of Nabisco shredded wheat, sugar, and milk certainly gives you the breakfast standby that stands by you all morning long.
Now you're talking, Mr. Bingman. When you fix yourself a big bowl full of them golden biscuits, you're putting away the kind of chow that'll keep you going straight to noontime victuals.
And what's more, boys and girls, Nabisco shredded wheat is made only from pure Western wheat. Sun-ripened grain that's flavor-filled with nature's own goodness and chock full of vitamins and minerals. Get the Niagara Falls package of the original shredded wheat. That's Nabisco shredded wheat, the breakfast standby that stands by you.
Calvaydos! Calvaydos!
For thrilling adventures of the Old West, ride with Straight Arrow. And remember, Nabisco, Nabisco is the name to know. For a breakfast you can't beat, eat Nabisco shredded wheat. Listen again Tuesday, same time, same station, for another adventure with Straight Arrow. This program came from Hollywood. Stay tuned now for Bobby Benson's V-Bar-B Riders, which follows over most of these same stations immediately. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Nabisco, Nabisco is the name to know. For a breakfast you can't beat. Beat Nabisco, shredded wheat. Keen eyes fixed on a flying target. A gleaming arrow set against a rawhide string. A strong bow bent almost to the breaking point. And then... Great arrow. Nabisco Shredded Wheat presents Great Arrow, a new, thrilling adventure story from the exciting days of the Old West. To friends and neighbors alike, Steve Adams appeared to be nothing more than the young owner of the Broken Bow cattle spread. But when danger threatened innocent people, and when evildoers plotted against justice, then Steve Adams' rancher disappeared. And in his place came a mysterious, stalwart Indian, wearing the dress and war paint of a Comanche, riding the great golden Palomino Fury, galloping out of the darkness to take up the cause of law and order throughout the West. Comes the legendary figure of Great Arrow. The little group of covered wagons stood in a small circle around a dying campfire as Steve Adams and Packy rode toward them. The canvas tops were weathered and torn from the long journey across the prairie, and the clothes of the pioneers showed the same evidence of a difficult trip as they clustered around an Indian wearing the dress and feathers of the Blackfoot tribe.
Steve, the way that Blackfoot's waving his arms looks to me like he's putting up some kind of argument.
He's making the Indian sign for no, Packy. And he's pointing to the mountain.
Well, if he's trying to keep him from going up over the pass, he sure got the right medicine. Winter, Steve. No time to try for Oregon now.
That big man with the red beard is doing most of the talking. Listen to him.
Don't give it any much to say, I brought you some 15 across from Tonto, some 15 across from Tonto Bluff. I made the journey to Oregon a dozen times and had no trouble. All your hard doing is what I tell you.
Hold it. You might be wrong, mister.
Huh? Well, looks like we got company. Howdy. Where do you hail from, gents?
Broken Bow Ranch. We spotted your campfire last night and rode over to see if you needed any help.
Help? Oh, no. We're right as rain. Ain't that so, folks?
I don't know, Rufus. Rampage has been mighty hard on us woman folk and younger.
No, ain't I leading you? Ben Rufus never lost a wagon outfit yet.
Now, Rufus, we ain't doubting you, but...
Go ahead. Speak your piece. You, Trent. Go ahead, as you hired me.
Yeah, I did. Spokesman for the whole outfit, and you've done fine so far.
I'll do fine all the way. Inside of a month, you'll be settled right on that land grant of yours on the Willamette River, tidy as you please.
Just a minute. Mr. Trench, that's where you're headed? The Willamette?
That's right, mister. American Fur Company has given us a tract of land there.
Those who live across mountains will get land.
I won't catch enough out of you, you ignorant Blackfoot.
You're pretty free with your talk, Rufus. The Blackfoot Indians know this country backwards and forwards.
Kino, if you ask me, Skywalker's giving you a straight steer.
The mountains are dangerous?
Winter's coming on, man. When it hits up there, it hits like a white stampede.
That's a lot of nonsensical talk. We'll get through.
It just sounds. Mr. Trench, what about supplies?
Supplies? We got enough to last us. What we need, Skywalk here can shoot on the way.
Game's very scarce in High Mountain.
You're hired to find it. Or are you aiming to turn back?
No. Skywalk go. White men foolish, but Skywalk go.
And it's all settled. Everybody hitch up the wagons and line up. We're rolling now.
Well, there they go, Steve. Women and kids, the whole caboodle.
Yeah, they might
might make it. What do you think of that Rufus hombre?
I don't know, Packy. Somehow I have a notion he's up to no good.
Same here, Steve. But we done all we could to stop him. Besides, the snow ain't hit yet. Maybe it'll hold off.
For a week after leaving the flat prairie, a string of wagons labored up the steep slopes of the high mountains.
Drive it up, Chief. Bring him What you always watching the sky for?
Oh, come soon, Rufus. These smells will come very soon.
You're a loco engine. Don't know what you're talking about. You men, put your shoulder to them wheels. Keep rolling. We're almost in the top of the pass.
But then the sky turned steely gray. The wind rose in screaming fury, and out of nowhere came a driving blizzard.
Snowing something fierce. Get the young'uns under the tent.
Rufus, we can't move. They see a foot in front of our faces. They'll come down all over. It's plenty thick.
Get the wagons into a circle. Hurry up, before the snow goes over the ice. We'll have to make time.
Here, Trent. This way. Behind rock.
This infernal snow. Poor feet keep walking the question.
Every so often you break right through. Should have taken your advice, Skywell. Snow plenty hard. Yeah, it's clear up to the bottom of the wagon. I hate to upset the women folks, Skywell, but we're mighty low on food, too. That's right. Lucky thing you found enough trees for firewood. Say, where's Rufus? He is gone. Gone? Wasn't he with you? No, he go before sunrise. Huh. You mean he's gone for help? No, he goes to the west. Shortest way to get help is back to the east, the way we come. You mean he's full out? He deserted us? Why didn't you stop him? He already gone when I find out. Better I stay with wagon train. You need plenty help. But can't you send up a smoke signal? Smoke signal no good. Wind blows smoke flat along ground. Nobody see it from bottom of mountain. There must be some way. I make snowshoe. Leave you here and go back. Leave us here? It's his only way. But suppose you don't make it. Suppose you get caught in an avalanche. Suppose you... Yeah. Reckon it's our only chance to stay alive. Well, Rufus deserted us. You go ahead, Skywatch. We'll hang on as long as we can.
There's nobody who can beat Straight Arrow when he swings into action. And I can't think of anything to beat Nabisco shredded wheat for a real appetizing breakfast. Now, you know as I do how good it is to find those whole wheat biscuits of Nabisco shredded wheat at your place each morning. Topped with sugar and cream, those tempting golden brown biscuits are really something. And, of course, Nabisco shredded wheat helps give you a big energy push every time. Because Nabisco shredded wheat is made from pure whole wheat. And that means it's a real energy food. Yes, Nabisco shredded wheat is the breakfast standby that stands by you. So if you're buying the groceries tomorrow, get the original shredded wheat. That's Nabisco shredded wheat. Look for the picture of Niagara Falls on the package and be sure of getting just what you want. When a wagon train heading for Oregon is snowbound in the mountains, the man hired to guide them, Ben Rufus, deserts the pioneers. While they find themselves locked in freezing cold and waist-deep snow, with only the Blackfoot Indian Skywatch to help them, Ben Rufus makes rendezvous with another man inside Oregon territory, a man who has been waiting for him.
So you done it, Rufus?
Said I would, didn't I, Neil? Told you to camp right here in the Snake River and wait for me. Now, let me get close up to this fire. I'm close to the marrow of my bones from that infernal snow.
You certain none of them get through?
Of course they won't. That was their scheme, wasn't it?
Leaving to freeze to death while you and me take over that land on the Willamette.
Miles of rich land. We're being Clover. How soon do we push on?
There's plenty of time. Almost didn't get through.
Yeah. If you had trouble doing it, it stands to reason they'll never make it. It's tenderfeet.
Yeah. All except in a Blackfoot Indian named Skywalk. You know Indians, Nails. He won't bother. If he goes any place, he'll head back east. They're done for, I tell you. Their goose is cooked.
Meanwhile, Skywalk, the Blackfoot Indian, has headed eastward, but not to desert the snowbound pioneers as Rufus expected. With true loyalty, he has gone for help.
Oh, they're heavy. So should it break on a sharp line. Must go on. Pioneers will die. Wolves will die. Get up. Must go on. Must go on.
Packy, what's that yonder? That's blacked out on the edge of the snowbank. Isn't that a man?
Fine Texas if it ain't, Steve. Looks like he's dead.
We'll find out pronto.
Get up, boy. Get up. Yeah, figure might be one of that there wagon parties.
The high mountains have been covered with snow for more than a week now, partner. That's why I suggested coming back here for a look-see.
It's a man right now.
It's an Indian, Packy. A Blackfoot. And I think we've seen him before. Oh, pony.
My Texas, he ain't stirring a muscle. His buckskins is all torn to shreds.
Easy now. I'll roll him over.
Why, it's that Skywalk Indian.
Yeah, he's unconscious.
You figure he up and deserted him?
An Indian, Packy? He'd never do that. No, partner, our suspicions are right. The wagon train is up there right now, and they're in desperate strait.
They got that Rufus kid with them. Rufus? Him. Hey, now, easy now, easy. Him. Go west. Rufus, go west. Leave people to giant store alive. Leave stores. Little ones.
Did you hear that, Steve? Yeah. There's no time to be lost. Fill the fire, Packy. Get Skywalk warmed up. I'm heading for Sundown Valley and the Cave of Straight Arrow. We'll have to get help from the Blackfeet to go after that wagon train. They won't listen to Steve Adams, but they will to a red man like themselves. Take care of Skywalk. Steady, pony. You can look for Straight Arrow mighty soon. Here, pony, get along now, huh? A short distance from the Golden Bull Ranch house lay Sundown Valley, and in it, through a secret entrance known only to Steve Adams and Packy, a vast subterranean cave. The walls of the cave glitter with crystals of gold. From an unknown source comes light that spreads a shimmering gleam everywhere, and standing in the glowing light is a great golden palomino. A Comanche bow and Comanche arrows hang on the wall. There is Comanche war paint, Comanche garb. In a moment, Steve Adams' rancher is gone. And in his place, his eye, Straight Arrow. Banner of wood in the back of this cave. An Indian war whoop that rings from the glittering rock. Out into the open gallops, the great golden palomino fury. And riding bareback, clad in Indian garb from head to toe. Straight Arrow on the trail of justice. Returning to the edge of the snowfield, Straight Arrow lifted Skywalk's unconscious form up on the great stallion, and with Packy behind, raced for the Blackfoot village. And a short time later,
Comanche, you are our friends. Us white men are not friends. What happened to them does not concern Blackfoot. Your warrior, Skywalk, was with pioneers.
he left them to bring help. Unless you give help, Skywalk will be disgraced.
Yeah, that is so.
Then you will do as I say?
Yes. For Straight Arrow and for Skywalk, we do what you say.
Packy.
Right here, Straighter.
Skywalk is taken care of.
Kino inside that lodge there, yonder. They're giving him the hot steam treatment. Pouring water over red-hot stones to make steam to drive the cold out of him.
Yeah, by morning, Skywalk will be better.
But the pioneers cannot wait. Even now their food may have run out. They may have no more firewood to keep them warm.
You figure we better start up the trail now?
Every moment is precious. Here, Fury.
You too, Bates. Come running.
Steady. Chief, Packy and I will go ahead. The moon is bright. We shall follow the prints left in the snow by Skywalk.
We come after you in the morning, Comanche. But one thing.
Yes?
Snow very deep when you get up high. Heavy crust on snow. Very bad for travel.
That is a risk we will have to take. Ready, Packy?
Kino. Adios, Chief.
Manitowoc. May the Great Spirit watch over you.
Manitowoc. Up to it. Rain up, Packy.
It's a pleasure.
The path grows more dangerous.
Kino, it sure does.
In the last hour, we have gone only a few hundred feet.
The wind is getting worse. Colder, too. Cuts right into the gizzard, seems like.
Paint's legs are stretched.
Yeah, that top crust is mighty sharp.
Then stay behind Fury, Packy. Fury will break the trail. Now, Palomino. Up, Fury. Steady, Fury.
Straighter, ain't no use. Not even Fury can make any progress now. Snow's right up to his belly.
Yes, Packy. Steady, Palomino.
Hey, you just mounted.
Yes. And now for my blanket roll.
Well, what's that you got there? Well, I'll be dogged. Snowshoes.
Yes, I brought them with me.
You better tie 'em on good and tight.
They are tight. Now, my bow and arrows.
And all you taking with you? Suppose you ran across a mountain goat. The rifle is tight better than a bow there. Here, take mine.
No, Packy. It is cold. A rifle may freeze up. A bow and arrow? Never. You stay behind, my friend. Find shelter for Fury and Pain and yourself.
Savvy. Wait till the Blackfeet show up in the morning, eh?
Come then as fast as you can. Now, on it,
Adios. Now, take care of yourself. Mighty cold up there. Take care.
The ground is level. I have reached the top. No. Nothing but snow and ice. But, wait. Ahead of me, wagons buried in the snow. Covered wagons. Hello! Hello! There is no answer. The tops of the covered wagons crackle with ice. The mountain pass glitters white with snow under the cold moon. There is no sign of men or women or children. No sign that any of the pioneers are still alive. Say, what in the world has happened to all those men, women, and children? It sure looks sad. But here's something that always looks good, always tastes good, too. It's a heaping bowl full of delicious Nabisco shredded wheat. Now, there's a family breakfast everyone will go for in a big way, because those golden brown biscuits are a treat to eat, hearty and satisfying any way you serve them. Yes, Nabisco shredded wheat is delicious hot or cold, topped with berries or bananas, or with just plain milk and sugar. And no matter how you eat them, Nabisco shredded wheat biscuits pack a lot of energy and vitality. That's because Nabisco shredded wheat is pure whole wheat, steamed, shredded, and baked into delicious-tasting biscuits. Nabisco shredded wheat is the breakfast standby that stands by you. So the next time you're at your grocer's, look for the famous Niagara Falls package of the original shredded wheat. That's the one and only Nabisco shredded wheat, the kind you want to buy. Huddled in a narrow cave, dug in the snowdrift for warmth against the freezing cold, Trent stirs as Great Arrow's fall reaches his ears.
Trent, do you hear something? I see the wind.
It is the wind.
I see. Nothing else up here. Wind and cold.
Listen to that. Close.
We must be dreaming. You're alive.
Oh, a redman. He's a redman. Frank,
You ain't Sky Out. Never mind who I am, so long as I have found you.
you got something over your
The
shoulder.
mountain goat. I shot him on the way up.
Food. Food.
You mean you carried him all the way? You need food. Rouse the others at once. Yeah, I will. Miss Barker.
Yes, yes. Sharon, Matilda.
Folks, get up! Get up, we're saved! Here's the red man from food! Food, Babby! Get up, we're saved!
By mid-morning, when Packy and the Blackfeet arrived, the pioneers were no longer a beaten group of people.
Oh, Tyler, you sure saved our lives.
Yes, sure did.
Hadn't been for you, say I'd never come to our rescue. You're better now, huh? Oh, that mountain goat the Comanche brought to save our starvation, and on top of that, all the grub your tribe toted us. Yeah. And Rufus said Indians wasn't any good.
I reckon you folks got the proof that they are good, eh?
Yeah, we sure have, Packy, too. But I don't comprehend. That Rufus wasn't a coward. What did he desert for?
French, your party has a land grant on the Willamette?
Well, yeah, Strader. Best land in all the Oregon Territory. I reckon we'll get there a heap sight later than we figured.
Perhaps Rufus figured you would never get there.
Huh? You mean he's after it himself?
He brought you here deliberately. He knew a storm was brewing.
Thunder, that's so.
By now, he is certain you are all dead.
But he can't claim that land.
Why not?
Because I got the written order. I carried it with me all the way from Council Bluffs. No. Hold on.
Yes?
I don't have it.
Drink, you got to have it.
You gave it to Rufus, perhaps?
That's it. He asked to look at it just before the British struck. And I never got it back.
That is your answer, Trent. Rufus has the document giving possession of that land.
But it's ours.
Sure it is.
Are your names on the document?
No, they ain't.
Or any name?
No.
No.
I catch it straight here if that don't beat everything. There's no way to stop that Rufus polecat now.
There is a way, Packy.
How?
If the pioneers reach the Willamette first.
But how can they?
Packy's right, Redman. We're licked.
No one is licked until he gives up.
Look at our wagons. How deep in snow we can't move them. The wheels won't turn.
You can move them without wheels.
Wagons move without wheels. That don't make sense.
Listen to me. First of all, Rufus will be in no hurry. He thinks you are all dead. He had a trying trip down the westward slope of the Rockies. Most likely he rested up at the Snake River before going on.
But even so, we can't stir out of here until the spring. There's no chance.
The men can take the wheels and axles off your covered wagon. Skywalk and the Blackfeet will help you. Take off the wheels, French. Then you shall see how to conquer the snow.
All right. You're the boss. Let's go, folks.
No hurry. You hear command. Take off wheels. Quick.
There. That's the last wheel, straight out.
Put it in the wagon. This has been done with the others.
All right, Judge. Grab a hold.
We got the rest all fixed, straight out.
Good, Packy. Now, all of you, listen. There are 5 wagons. With the wheels and axles gone, they can slide over the snow. They are like sleds. There is nothing to stop them. Start them forward and scrub them with rope. 15 men to each wagon.
Catch us at the slickest scheme as ever I heard. Come on, Frank. Get a wiggle on your skywalk. Get behind them wagons.
Here, Curry. Eddie Palomino. Packy, mount up. The wagons will pack down the snow. Curry and Paint can follow them easily.
There, Tino. Hold still there, Paint Horse. Yeah.
Once off the snow, the wheels go back on the wagon. Then on to Willamette. Trent, are you ready?
Already, men and women alike.
Let's see also straight out.
Give the word.
Now, forward. Start the wagons down the slope.
Just wait till we get to them. That Rufus Polecat is going to get the surprise of his life.
You say your name is Rufus, and you have title to this section of land along the river here?
Yep, got the document right here. Yeah, the local land agent, ain't you? Just certify that, and it's over and done with.
Mm-hmm. Well, everything seems to be in order.
Sure, it's in order. What's wrong with it?
Well, that's a good deal of land for one man.
Two men. Me and my sidekick, Nails here.
Sure, I mean on this. No, I see. Well, but even so...
Go ahead, stop wasting time. I didn't come clear over the Oregon Trail in winter just to hold a confab. Certify it.
Very well. I don't quite understand, but after all, these matters are arranged back east. I'm simply the local agent. I'll go inside and get my quill pen.
Hey, what? What? An arrow. Why, it clipped your document fast to my cabin wall.
Well, Rufus, it's a resume. Yeah, and I know who it is, Nails. I don't savvy how he got built in on this, but he's pretty hard.
Oh, Judy, hey. Just sign that paper. The land does not belong to Rufus. It belongs to the men of the wagon train.
Wagon train? What's he talking about, Rufus? That wagon train's clear up in the pass. It's no down there, Trent.
Here, look. It's the wagon. There's Trent and Davis. Hold them. They're alive.
Rufus, get out of there. I can't read around you. The arrows in my cover can catch you before you take 10 steps. Let's go.
I needed you. Deserted us for dead, didn't you? Oh, you're alive. How? Oh, I don't care. It was the Indians that saved us, Rufus. The very same Indians you took such pains to belittle. I want yes, Kiowa. Him and his brother warriors. And it was straight arrows showing us how to slide the wagons over the snow. Slide the wagons?
Just like thread. All the way down to green grass. Then we hit back the wheels and the men rustled up some horses. Keno, Mrs. Barker, Keno. Rufus is beaten and he knows it. Him and his sidekick are heading for the calaboose right now. But say, there's one thing I'll never forget. Why, the way them wagons come down off of that there mountain, just as pretty as a little red sled. Yes, sir. Never seen anything so pretty in all my life.
Well, nothing stops Straight Arrow when he's on the trail to law and order. And nothing stops a hungry family when they hear the call to breakfast. Yes, sir, everybody hurries to the table fast because everybody is in a hurry to start eating that delicious, crisp Nabisco shredded wheat. Topped with sugar and cream and maybe some sliced bananas, Nabisco shredded wheat is a breakfast that puts everybody in an eating mood. And Nabisco shredded wheat helps to keep you going strong all morning long. Serve it cold or serve it hot. The directions are right on the package. Either way, Nabisco shredded wheat is a real energy food because it's pure whole wheat. A breakfast standby that really stands by you. Look for the picture of Niagara Falls on the package. That means you're getting the original shredded wheat. Nabisco shredded wheat. Adventures of the Old West. Ride with Straight Arrow. And remember, Nabisco, Nabisco is the name to know. For a breakfast you can't beat. Eat Nabisco shredded wheat. Listen again Tuesday and Thursday at 5 o'clock over most of these same stations for another adventure with Straight Arrow. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Nabisco, Nabisco is the name to know. For a breakfast you can't beat. Try Nabisco shredded wheat. Keen eyes fixed on a flying target. A gleaming arrow set against a rawhide string. A strong bow bent almost to the breaking point. And then... Straight arrow. Nabisco Shredded Wheat presents Straight Arrow, a new thrilling adventure story from the exciting days of the Old West. To friends and neighbors alike, Steve Adams appeared to be nothing more than the young owner of the Broken Bow cattle spread. But when danger threatened innocent people, and when evildoers plotted against justice, then Steve Adams' rancher disappeared. And in his place came a mysterious stalwart Indian, wearing the dress and war paint of a Comanche, riding the great golden Palomino Fury. Galloping out of the darkness to take up the cause of law and order throughout the West comes the legendary figure of Straight Arrow. With the westward expansion of the United States came many settlers who were good people and learned to live in peace with the Indians of the prairie country. But as more and more covered wagons rolled along the trails, the search for land grew feverish. And there were some who turned evil eyes on the land where stood the teepees and the council fires of the Comanche.
Oh, there. Look at there, Spur. Plenty of land for us to grab off.
Yeah, good land, too. We can sell it for plenty to folks coming west. Only it's Injun land, Monty.
What if it is? We'll grab it off right under their noses.
How? We ain't strong enough to fight all them red men.
We ain't, Spur. But supposing all the settlers around here started in to fight.
Fight the Injuns? Well, they won't. They're peaceful.
Yeah. Oh, but they won't be long. I got a scheme, Spur. A scheme that's going to bust this Injun territory wide open. Come on. Get it. There you go.
A few nights later, Monty and Spur gathered with a group of desperados in a tangle of brush not far from the homes of several settlers.
All right, all of you. Stop gabbing and listen. Now, we sweep down on them houses and put them to the torch. Steal the horses, scatter the cattle. Just make sure of one thing.
What's that, Monty?
I want them settlers to put the blame right on the Injuns, not on us. That's why I had you all decked out in war paint and deerskin.
There's one thing we ain't got, Monty. Them Comanches all wear red feather headbands.
All right. We can't get them headbands. Only the Injuns know where to get them eagle feathers. But it's dark, savvy? Nobody'll notice. Now, here we go. And yell. Yell just like Comanche.
It took rugged people to survive in pioneer days. It was all work, hard work that called for hearty food. Makes you wonder how men like that fabulous redskin Straight Arrow can keep up his fast pace of danger and excitement. It takes plenty of energy to keep going like that. The pushing, driving energy you can get from Nabisco Shredded Wheat. Try a bowl full of these crisp cereal biscuits whenever you need extra energy. Nabisco Shredded Wheat is so delicious, you'll be looking for that wholesome, healthful cereal every day. Remember to get the original Niagara Falls package of Nabisco Shredded Wheat. Monty and his gang, dressed as Indians, made one night raid after another. Outlying settlers living near Comanche territory awoke night after night to hear the thunder of hoofs, the hiss of arrows, and the crash of rifle bullets, and the crackle of flames as raiding parties burnt down their homes.
Comanches on the warpath! Run for your lives!
Now, Packy, that just doesn't make sense. You and I know the Comanches are at peace. They have a treaty. They'd never violate a treaty.
Steve, I just now come from El Camino. The town's boiling over. Folks say there's been 4 raiding parties in the past week alone.
Can't believe it.
Keno, I know, Steve. After all, you was born a Comanche yourself. But wait, You ain't heard the worst of it. Why, there's talk about taking that land away from them Comanches.
What's that?
Folks is roused up, Steve. They're calling a meeting. They've even got a big judge sent out special from Washington.
In El Camino, partner?
Got there just last night.
Federal judge, huh? Come on, partner. Let's head for El Camino. I aim to have words with that judge. Get up there.
Get up there, paint horse. Come on.
Judge Prentice was just having breakfast in the El Camino Cafe when Steve Adams and Packy located him. Steve got down to business immediately.
That's right, Judge Prentice. My handle's Adams. Steve Adams, owner of the Broken Bow Cattle Spring.
And I'm his sidekick, Packy.
Well, sit down and join me, gentlemen.
If you don't mind, Judge, I'd rather stick to talk. Judge, the Comanches are innocent.
Huh?
I'm certain all this talk about Indian raids is
Hold
just
on
talk.
there, mister. So you figure them redskins ain't harm folks none, do you? Ha. You hear that, Spur?
Yeah, Marty.
We were having a private confab with Judge Prentice. You weren't asked to horn in.
We're doing it on our own hook then, stranger. And what you're trying to say is a dead blamed lie.
Why, you dead blame buzzard. You can't call
Steady,
Steve
partner.
Adams.
I'll handle this.
But Steve...
Gentlemen, I didn't come here to witness gunplay. I came to solve a difficult problem.
Yeah, Judge. And it was me and Spur here sent for you.
Well, now that's mighty interesting. I suppose it was your place that was raided?
Well, no, not exactly.
Or this Spur gent's, maybe?
No, not me neither.
Just what is your stake, then? You wouldn't be land agents now, would you?
Suppose we are.
Just wondering, mister. If that land is taken away from the Comanches and thrown open to settlers, you can make plenty of cash selling it, can't you?
No, look at here. I've taken enough left from
One
you.
moment, please. Mr. Adams.
Yes, Judge?
As representative of the law, I take no sides. I'm here to learn for myself who is right. But I tell you this. There have been Indian raids already, many of them. I've already spoken to dozens of settlers whose homes have been leveled to the ground, whose cattle and horses have been scattered to the winds. Adams, I'm very much afraid that the Comanches must be punished.
Yeah, they burned out my home.
I come to speak to my white brothers.
Steve, by cactus, it's a red man.
Comanche, walking right in here bold as brass.
I am White Cloud of the Comanche. Word has come that we violated our pledge of peace. This is not so. We keep the peace.
He's lying.
White Cloud does not lie. I swear
The
it.
sneaking buzzard. Grab him, gents. String him out. Come on.
Gentlemen.
Stand back. All of you, stand back.
Get out of the way, Adams. Get out of the way.
Look out.
Now, the next man that goes for his gun like Monty will be mighty sorry. White Cloud, back, out the door.
I am not afraid.
Do as I say. Packy and me will come along with you. Now, don't move, anybody. All of you stand still.
I got the door, Steve.
All right, out. Run for the horses. Go back to your people, White Cloud. These settlers are madder than hornets.
My people have not broken the peace.
White Cloud, this is no time for making talk. Vamoose, pronto.
Very well. I go. Of this I tell to you. We will not give up our land. We will never give up our land.
Packy, into the saddle. We can't argue with them, partner. Into the saddle and ride. Pronto. Get up
there. Steve, we gotta do something. If the Comanches didn't break the peace, who did?
Packy, that's what we gotta find out. There's just one way to do it. Follow me, partner. We're heading for Sundown Valley in the cave of Straight Arrow. A mysterious valley, a hidden cave known only to Steve Adams and Packy. Its walls glitter with gold, and in the cave stands the great golden Palomino Fury. Easy there, Fury. Now, out of these clothes. A Comanche bow and arrows hang on the wall. There is Comanche war paint, Comanche garb. In a moment, Steve Adams' rancher is gone, and in his place... Steady, Fury. It is I, Straight Arrow. A clatter of hoofs in the vast vaulted cave. An Indian war whoop that rings from the glittering rock. Out into the open gallops the great golden Palomino Fury, and riding bareback, clad in Indian garb from head to toe, Straight Arrow on the trail of justice.
fire of the Comanches! Yes, sir! Kaniwa!
After leaving El Camino, White Cloud had galloped back to the Comanche village and called a council of Indian braves. He told them what had taken place, and as he finished, the faces of his fellow warriors grew fierce and troubled.
No, they will never take our land. Never. Is that not so, warriors of the Comanche? We will fight to keep our land. We cannot fight. We have smoked the pipe of peace. It is not we who break the peace. It will be they. Let the peace pipe be broken and cast to the four winds. This is our land, the land of our fathers. We shall... Hurry! Look, my brothers. A Comanche in war paint. A bow and arrows that glitter with gold. And he wears the red feather headband. It is Straight Arrow. House!
Ho, Fury, ho! House, the honey!
Ho, Straight Arrow! Straight Arrow, we have heard of you, and now you come.
When my brothers, the Comanche, are in danger, Straight Arrow shall always come.
Even so, Straight Arrow, much danger. This land...
Already I know of this, White Cloud.
You know?
Brothers of the Red Feather Headband, listen to me. Let your war paint stay in the teepee. Let not the war cry be heard on your lips.
Straight Arrow, what shall we do then? Take down our teepees? Bury our council fires? Shall we move our squaws, our children, from this our land?
No. No, White Cloud. Do you not trust Straight Arrow?
Yes, but...
Then do as I say. It is not you who raid the homes of the settlers.
Who then, Straight Arrow? Who has done this?
I do not yet know. But the judge who comes from Washington, from the home of the great White Father, will not decide for a few more days. And before then, I shall find out, O brothers of the Red Feather Headband, I shall find out. Manitua! Up Palomino! Up Fury!
Sweeping out of the Indian village, the red man rejoined Packy, who had been waiting out on the prairie. A signal from Straight Arrow, and the two men rode on into the dusk. But that night in El Camino...
Monty, we gotta do something, I tell you. I've been listening to that Judge Prentice. He's too blamed honest.
I don't savvy, Spur. What's eating you?
He still ain't convinced the Comanche's been pulling them raids. He plans to hold a regular hearing to ask the Comanche themselves to show up.
What's that? Why, that'll bust our scheme wide open. Spur, we gotta do something that'll make that judge dead set against them Injuns, savvy?
Yeah, Monty, but what?
And he ain't staying in town, is he?
No, he ain't. He's going over to Carson's ranch. He's staying there the rest of the week.
Carson's place, huh?
You got something up your sleeve, Monty?
Yes, Spur, I sure enough have. Spur, there's one way to make up Judge Prentice's mind. Just suppose that Injuns was to raid Carson's place right while he was there.
Injuns? You mean us, Monty?
Yes, I mean us. Round up the gang, Spur. We gotta figure this out pronto.
Did you ever see the equal of Spur and Monty for pure meanness? They're so set on stirring up redskin trouble and putting the blame on White Cloud's tribe that they'll even raid the ranch where Judge Prentice is staying. This setup calls for Straight Arrow and quick, just as a really good breakfast calls for Nabisco shredded wheat, the tempting whole grain cereal that seems to be just everybody's favorite. You just try some. And when you taste that golden whole wheat flavor, you'll be sold on Nabisco shredded wheat from then on. And that'll be fine and dandy, because Nabisco shredded wheat is yours for good health. A healthful, energy-giving cereal that's bound to give you a good morning start. Have Nabisco shredded wheat, the original shredded wheat, tomorrow. Monty and Spur, two unscrupulous land grabbers, fake a series of Indian raids on outlying settlers in order to have a federal judge take land away from the Comanche and open it for settlement. But Straight Arrow, certain that the Comanche are keeping the peace, takes up the chase. Knowing the federal judge to be an honest man who will countenance no wrongdoing, the red man prevails on White Cloud's tribe to leave matters in his hands. And that night, after traveling from the Indian village, he and his partner Packy arrive in the town of El Camino.
Streets are plenty deserted, Straight Arrow.
Yes, but look there, Packy. The hitching rail in front of the cafe.
I don't notice nothing out of line.
So many horses, my friend. And look now, yet another one stops before the cafe.
Well, why shouldn't they be there? If they're going into the cafe...
The cafe is dark.
Huh?
No light shines from the window.
My cactus, that's so. It's closed up tighter than a drum.
And watch. That rider has dismounted. Does he enter the cafe?
Why, no. No, he ain't. He's heading up the outside stairs to the balcony.
Watch him.
While hog tie me for a blister. Keno, Straight Arrow, he went into a room up there, a lighted room.
Yes, and for a moment when the door was open, I saw many others already inside, and speaking to them was Monty.
Monty?
When you and I were in El Camino this morning, you do not recall?
Monty? Why, cactus, now I do. Yeah. He's one of them there land grabbers.
He and another called Spur.
I grabbed Keno, Monty, and Spur.
Packy, others can go up on that balcony also to listen and hear while these bad men talk. Fury, under the balcony.
Yeah, under Pink.
Leaving Fury and Paint in the shadow of the cafe balcony, Straight Arrow led the way up the worn wooden stairs and toward the door through which came the murmur of voices.
Softly, Packy. If they hear us...
Keno, I'll be careful.
Closer now.
Quickly, Red Man and White moved across the balcony. Lamplight gleamed through the cracks of a closed door, and soon they could hear Monty's voice.
All right, then, gents, it's all settled. We'll put on a good act for that Judge Prentice. So good he'll order the Comanche land thrown wide open.
We'll be right out, Monty.
What's wrong right now? We'll head out of town, change the engine clothes and war paint. What was that?
Hey, Straight Arrow, my gun, it bumped up against the door.
Quiet, Packy. Perhaps they will pay no heed to it.
Monty. Yeah, thanks to the balcony. I wonder... there ain't nobody out there. But I ain't to find out. Who's out there? Who is...
Packy, jump quickly over the railing.
What in blazes?
Monty, what happened?
I don't know. Something hit me out of
There ain't nobody out here now.
There was, I tell you. There must have been that. Hey, there they go. Look at them. Had the horses right under the balcony. Slugged me and jumped. Well, we'll get them. Never mind that. Don't be loco and waste lead. They're gone. Slanted around the corner.
Who was they, Monty? How much did they hear?
I don't know, and we ain't waiting to find out, Chevy. We're hitting the trail pronto.
For Carson's place?
Yeah, to stage our engine raid. And the faster we get there, the better. Come on, gents. Get to your horses.
Meanwhile, Straight Arrow galloped Fury full tilt around behind the El Camino General Store. There he halted, and while his partner Packy gaped in amazement, the red man vanished into the dark store to reappear in a moment with a heavy sack slung over one strong shoulder.
Hey, what in tarnation, Straight Arrow? What's that?
Here, Packy. On your horse, Paint. Behind his saddle. Do not move, Paint. No, tie it on firmly.
Well, I don't savvy. What in blazes do we want with that? It's them polecats of Monty's and Spurs that we're going after. Why, they... Hey, there they go now, hightailing out of town.
Steady, Fury. After them, Packy.
Yeah, but we don't even know where they're heading.
They will stop for a while to get into Indian dress. You must trail them while I go to the Comanche village.
You mean you're getting White Cloud?
White Cloud and his braves. When Monty and his men stage that raid, Judge Prentice shall see the difference between real Indians and false.
Keno, I'll trail after Monty right enough. But how in blazes will you find me?
I shall find you. Now, up, Fury!
But Straight Arrow! He's gone. It's dark. Plumb dark. Even with the moon, how's he going to pick up my trail? But he said I should tag after Monty no matter what. Keno, then. Come on, Paint Horse. Wherever them ornery coyotes are heading, we're going after them. Get up there!
The moon laid a silver blanket over the wigwams and teepees of the Indian village as Straight Arrow's great horse Fury flashed over the dark prairie and down among the tethered horses in the buffalo hide lodgings. But the village dogs raised the alarm, and in a few short seconds, every brave in the village was clustered around the giant Palomino and his famous rider.
Straight arrow. It is straight arrow. Straight arrow. What is it? Why have you come thus by moonlight?
White Cloud, all of you, listen. I have found who it is that plots against the Comanche. There are evil men who scheme to take your land. Will you ride with me to trap them? Then to your wigwams. Don your war paints. Take down your bows and arrows. Your shields made from the hide of the great buffalo. Take your fastest war ponies.
Quickly, the Comanches sped to their lodgings. War paint daubed each face. Bows were stripped of their deerskin sheaths. Arrows filled every quiver. And in a few moments, Straight Arrow was surrounded by 50 eager Comanche mounted on painted ponies.
We are ready, Straight Arrow.
Good. You all wear the red feather headband, the mark of the Comanche.
Straight Arrow, one moment.
Yes, White Cloud.
These evil men who pretend they are us, where shall we find them?
I do not yet know.
You do not know? But it is dark. How can you find them?
White Cloud, put your trust in me. We shall pick up the trail somewhere near El Camino.
But such a trail, can it be followed quickly?
We shall follow it quickly. But now there is much ground to cover. After me, up, Fury!
Out from the Indian village streamed the Comanches, moonlight glittering on the black braided hair, gleaming on the copper skins and polished bows, shining on the spotted ponies. Faster and faster they swept across the prairie toward El Camino, and at their head, his golden coat shimmering in the pale moonlight, the great Palomino Fury.
Monty. Yonder's Carson's place.
Yeah. Got a lamp out on the porch, too. It looks like the judge and Carson sitting there. Gather around, gents, all of you.
Come on, boy.
Now, remember, you ain't white men, savvy? You're all Injuns.
Sure, Monty. Didn't we stop to get all dressed up this way?
Yeah, war paint, bows and arrows, the work.
And remember this, gents. You can pull trigger if you want to, but make certain you shoot in the air. We got to keep that Judge Prentice alive, savvy? Make a big ruckus like Injuns, yell and gallop their ponies, but that's all, savvy?
All set then, Monty. What do we do first?
The corral, gents. It's just far enough from that porch that Prentice can make us out and think we're Injuns. Just far enough. Come on now. Walk your horses until I give the word. Then in we go. And yell like blazes.
Cautiously, the bad men moved forward through the cottonwoods toward the Carson corral. As they drew near, Monty raised his hand, ready to send his men forward like an Indian raiding party. But before he could give the signal...
What?
An arrow came hissing out of the darkness behind them, a golden arrow, and out of no place, charging down on the surprised outlaws, came a tide of painted Comanches with Straight Arrow leading the way.
What in blazes? Sure, it's Injuns.
Yeah, Monty, real Injuns. They got us. They got us whipped off.
Take them, everyone! Take them!
At the sound of battle, Judge Prentice and Carson leaped to their feet and peered out across the moonlit prairie. They could make out horses and men tangled together, but who was friend and who was foe, they could not tell. Not until all the bad men were captured, and Straight Arrow and the Comanches led them in silence up to the porch and stopped.
Oh, Fury, oh.
Well, I'll be... They're Indians, all of them.
No, Judge Prentice, not all. These men whose arms are tied and bound, they are not Indians. They are outlaws.
That ain't so. We ain't...
Monty! That was an idiot thing to do. Now the judge has us spotted for sure.
I have indeed. So this is what has been happening, eh? It was not the Comanche who are raiding innocent settlers.
No, Judge Prentice. It was these bad men. They hoped to get the Indian land for themselves to sell.
Never, Red Man, I assure you. That land belongs to the Comanches, and it shall belong to them.
White Cloud, do you and your braves hear?
We hear, Straight Arrow. We hear, and we are grateful to our brother who rides the golden Palomino.
Oh, there, Pinko. Straight Arrow by cactus, you done it. I was watching from the cottonwoods. But how in sassafras...
How was I
did you-
able to pick up your trail?
Yeah.
Look behind you, Packy.
Behind me? Well, I'll be a lop-eared mule. A trail of white stretching behind my horse.
White flour, my friend. That sack I put on paint was full of flour. I cut it open before I left you. In the moonlight, it was easy to follow. Judge Prentice.
Yes, Straight Arrow?
These men shall go to jail.
They shall indeed, Red Man. They certainly shall. But do you know, even now I have difficulty in telling you real Indians from them.
Look for the red feather, Judge.
Huh? The red feather?
The mark of the Comanche. The red feather headband. Others may use war paint, bows, and arrows to pretend they are Comanche. But only the Comanche himself, honest, fearless, and loyal to the land of his fathers. Only he wears the red feather headband of the Comanche.
This time of day, most of you Straight Arrow fans have pulled up reins, all set to take it easy for a while. But tomorrow morning, you'll be at it again, bright and early. So don't forget to have some Nabisco shredded wheat before you start out. Nabisco shredded wheat has what it takes to make you feel really shipshape. Those crisp, whole wheat biscuits give you Energy Plus to help keep you going for hours. And you won't be feeling hungry way before lunchtime, for Nabisco shredded wheat is the kind of breakfast food that stays with you clear through to the next meal. Hot or cold, plain or piled with fruit, Nabisco shredded wheat makes the best breakfast ever. Tell Mother you'd like a big bowl full every day starting tomorrow.
Thrilling adventures of the Old West, ride with Straight Arrow. And remember, Nabisco, Nabisco is the name to know. For a breakfast you can't beat, try Nabisco shredded wheat.